अब HD कुमारस्वामी के बारे में बात करें, क्योंकि अब वो ऑपोजिशन में है लेकिन वो इस मीटिंग में हिस्सा नहीं ले रहे हैं और सीधे तौर पर सवाल उठाते हुए नजर आ रहे हैं। ये पूछने कि क्या ये सरकारी कार्यक्रम है या ये ऑपोजिशन पार्टी की मीटिंग है, क्योंकि ये सवाल उठा रहे हैं। दीपक इज जॉइनिंग अस हियर ऑन द ब्रॉडकास्ट एज टू व्हाई दे आर IAS ऑफिसर्स हु हैव बीन डिप्लॉयड फॉर दिस ऑपोजिशन मीटिंग। दीपक,
Well, definitely a lot of interesting things expected today. 11 o'clock is when the meeting is scheduled. It's expected to go on the brainstorming for at least about 3 to 4 hours. So around 2 or 3 is when we're expecting the meeting conclude. After about an hour from there, we'll have a press conference very similar to what we saw in Bihar, where a host of leaders, probably all of them, will be seated in that particular press conference. Let me show you the situation outside the Taj Hotel. Heavy police deployment as usual here. We can see, of course, these posters that were put up yesterday that are adorning the streets of Bengaluru. Today, what I'm noticing is some of these new posters of Mr. Sharad Pawar, because yesterday, of course, he had not come in. He had, of course, clarified that he will be taking part in the meet today. And now you're looking at the NCP posters as well with Mr. Sharad Pawar's face there right at the entrance to the Taj West End. Of course, there was a little bit of controversy with some posters against Mr. Nitish Kumar as well that sprung up in different parts of Bengaluru, was eventually taken down by the police. But talking again about the meeting, like you were mentioning, there is, of course, several agendas today. The common minimum program, of course, is one of the major ones. Seat sharing is something that needs to be discussed. This is something that they will probably talk about as well. Meanwhile, we also have today an unfortunate news coming in of former Kerala Chief Minister Mr. Oppn passing away. His mortal remains have been kept in Bengaluru, so we're expecting Sonia and Rahul Gandhi to move from Taj West End, pay their respects and come back for this meeting. So whether the other leaders, since most of the opposition leaders are here, many of them, of course, could decide to do that as well. So a lot of hectic activity here. The police, meanwhile, have their task cut out too. Like Mr. HD Kumaraswamy has also put out a tweet today questioning why IAS officers are being made in charge of some of the VIPs. Don't they have other work to do and duties to perform in the state? So several, jibes being taken by the BJP and Mr. HD Kumaraswamy alike at the Congress party and the other.
Kumaraswamy was neither invited by the NDA. Neha is joining us with more details on that. It's very interesting. Mr. HD Kumaraswamy was not extended an invitation either by the opposition parties or the NDA.
Well, that's right, and that's precisely what we asked, the former Chief Minister yesterday as well, Mr. HD Kumaraswamy. They're going on to say that, none of the partners right now of the Mahagathbandhan really consider them as an opposition ally, and which is why that they weren't really extended an invite. However, as far as the NDA is concerned, when we posed a very pointed question to him, they're asking about whether he would, of course, possibly support the NDA here. He did go on to say that, there's still a lot of time, we'll see. He's not entirely ruled it out. Also imperative to mention that, when we brought up the aspect about Mr. HD Devegowda, meeting with the Prime Minister as well, making a statement a couple of days back about how, there's no party today in the country that's not in touch with other parties. We asked Mr. HD Kumaraswamy about this as well. He's not gone on to rule it out entirely. However, we'll really have to wait and see, because the HD Kumaraswamy, of course, the JDS remains to be a key opposition over here in the state of Karnataka. Whether of course, those meetings that he held with Mamta Banerjee, he held meetings with KCR as well in the past, is any of that really of course going to yield anything for the party? One thing that's quite certain is that he has said whatever decision the party takes in the future, of course it would be to safeguard the interests of the party. Whether of course they decide to
this mega
possibly
meeting,
support the
of the meeting that will be taking place shortly, as Deepak and Neha have been reporting from Bengaluru at the meeting site as well. We are expecting more developments